Imagine being offered like top tier, completely free, life-saving medical care in Australia, right? And you just turn it down to mock the doctors while your body literally poisons itself.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds completely absurd.
It really does. Well, welcome to today's deep dive. We are so glad you're joining us because today we are looking at a truly unbelievable clinical and behavioral case study about a subject named Bakwi.
It is quite the roller coaster, this one.
Oh, absolutely. Our mission today is to unpack how unmanaged physical illness, extreme grandiose psychology, and, frankly, bizarre financial behaviors created this perfect storm of total self-destruction.
Yeah, self-destruction is really the only word for it.
Right. Okay, let's unpack this because we are starting with a medical situation that sounds, well, pretty straightforward. The guy has gout.
Right, just gout.
Yeah. So how does a common ailment like gout spiral into this chaotic, life-threatening psychological thriller?
Well, it spirals because he just completely refused to manage it. That untreated gout progressed into severe chronic kidney disease.
Oh.
Yeah, so we are talking about extreme physical decline here. He's experiencing profound emaciation and severe leg edema, which is fluid pooling because his kidneys are failing.
Right.
But most alarmingly, he throws up immediately every time he tries to eat.
Wait, really? If it's his kidneys failing, why is he constantly vomiting? I mean, that sounds like a stomach issue.
You'd think so, but it's actually neurological. Because his kidneys aren't filtering his blood, uremic toxins are building up, right?
Oh, I see.
Yeah, they act directly on his brain. So his body is literally poisoning itself from the inside.
Which makes his next move so baffling. His sister, Feng, she arranges for him to get completely free healthcare in Australia.
Completely free.
Yeah, and he outright refuses it. He blames his symptoms on his diet, insists he can fix it himself, and actively mocks the Australian doctors.
Right, he mocks the people trying to save his life.
It's like driving a car with no engine, but blaming the brand of gasoline.
That is a great way to put it, actually.
Thank you. But, the need to be right completely overrides his instinct to survive. How does psychology even explain that intense level of denial?
Well, what's fascinating here is the underlying psychological structure. The clinical analysis points to grandiose narcissistic personality disorder.
Okay, so extreme narcissism.
Exactly. For someone with this structure, their entire identity is built on this rigid illusion of absolute power, accepting the sick role, admitting he's vulnerable and needs help.
Right, that would shatter the illusion.
Totally shatter his fragile ego. So he uses DARVO.
DARVO?
Yeah, deny, attack, and reverse victim and offender. He denies the illness, attacks the doctor's competence, and reverses the blame onto his diet. He sacrifices his actual physical survival just to maintain the delusion of control.
Wow. You can imagine how terrifying that is for his family to watch, too. Because his decline makes zero logical sense, his sister Fung actually starts believing he was cursed.
Right, the whole black magic theory.
Yeah. She claims a business partner, Mrs. Lan, used black magic, or, booba, on him after a deal went south. She even consults these spiritual masters in Nha Trang to try and fix it.
Which honestly is a very human reaction. If you look at causal attribution theory, it explains how we cope with helplessness.
Right, needing a reason for the chaos.
Exactly. Watching someone you love waste away is terrifying. It's often easier to shift the blame to the supernatural. It gives the family an external enemy to fight instead of accepting that Baki is just doing this to himself.
But the objective timeline totally disproves the curse anyway, right?
Oh, completely.
Yeah, the medical data shows his severe illness actually began in mid-2025 during this period of heavy partying in Vietnam. That was way before he ever had conflict with Mrs. Lan.
Biology is to blame, not a curse.
Exactly. But that blinding refusal to accept reality didn't just stop at his health. It dismantled as a financial reality, too. He was in this lucrative, quote-unquote, fake marriage business deal with Mrs. Lin.
Right, and he essentially held the whole thing hostage.
Yeah, he demanded a massive premature deposit to fund an entirely unrelated real estate venture in Bentray. That is a severe sequencing risk error.
It is. In his mind, though, normal business rules just didn't apply to him.
Right. And he blurred professional boundaries, too. He tried to romantically claim Miss Alan, and when she naturally rejected him, he just snapped.
Because a grandiose narcissist cannot handle rejection. It's a massive narcissistic injury.
Right.
To retaliate, he detonated the entire deal. He refused to cooperate, punishing everyone, and even caused his sister Fung to lose her entire investment.
So what does this all mean? It shows you that unchecked ego acts as a black hole. It destroys everything: the physical body, the professional deals, and the finances of anyone trying to help.
Ultimately, the physical decay, the supernatural rationalizations, the financial ruin, it's not a curse. It all stems from a single, untreated root cause, which is an impenetrable narcissistic ego.
So true. You know, we've probably all worked with someone who refuses to admit a tiny mistake. Now scale that up to a life or death scenario. It leaves you with something pretty heavy to mull over. If extreme narcissism can make someone literally choose starvation and financial ruin over admitting vulnerability, how often do we let our own hidden egos quietly sabotage our personal growth rather than simply asking for help?